Story time! I almost died on Christmas Eve. So, everyone here in the Western world and possibly everywhere else worldwide knows that 2017 was an altogether disastrous year. And Christmas Eve just put the cherry on top for me. I know it's Christmas Eve and like Jesus Christ himself is supposed to show up in disguise and like take us over to like the nearest hotel, which is just gonna be miraculously too full on Christmas Eve. So we end up sleeping in a barn manger and having this like Christmas miracle experience where we get to reflect on the past, future, and present. But that's not what happened. That being said, my sister comes up with this like relatively brilliant idea that we should all just drive over to Ottawa on Christmas Eve and road trip. I'm totally down for it. Who wouldn't want to do that on Christmas Eve with your family all the way up by Ottawa, kind of like a 6-hour drive away from my house, and who doesn't want to have that experience of just like spending Christmas in literally the middle of nowhere? It's great to get out of the city. She shows up on Christmas Eve, the driver of the vehicle, and she also picks up my brother and me and 2 of my 3 siblings, not including myself, on my mother's side, get ready to drive to the middle of nowhere, 6 hours away from my home in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Now, there's just one problem with this brilliant idea. It happens to be a blizzard. Now, if anyone else here lives in Canada, you know what a blizzard's like, okay? And you're not supposed to drive in a blizzard. That's just common sense. But it's Christmas Eve, and we're trying to go to our mother's house, and how could we just say no? Anyways, so we start driving on our merry little way. It's me, it's my brother, it's my sister, it's the driver of the vehicle who shall remain nameless, and also it's a cat. We have a cat that's in a carrier, and right now it's seated on my lap. And so we continue driving now, and we're getting further and further along. Like, by that I mean we're almost like, what, 45 minutes away from Ottawa, and that's like 5 hours away from Toronto. So we've been driving for a long time, and there's this like roundabout in the middle of the highway that they put there for some reason, and my sister kind of turns to the driver of the vehicle and is like, by the way, a roundabout's coming up, so just be careful of that roundabout. And what happens? We go driving headfirst into the roundabout. Okay, like there's literally a sign that says, please be careful, don't drive into the roundabout, and we go headfirst into the roundabout. And I feel that just like clang against the car, the crushing of metal that I've never heard before in my life, because I'm so careful about driving with people that are really not safe on the road. Anyways, from there, there's kind of this pause where everything starts going into slow motion. I feel my butt rising up the seat, kind of floating into the mid-air ether of nothingness. The cat on my lap, I'm just like clutching it for dear life because I'm like, oh my God, I watch way too many Facebook videos. I've seen the one with the girl who had a sister who was 15 years old, and it was about to be her quinceanera, and she was driving with her drunk, and she Facebook Lives as she goes flying through the window. And I don't want this to be me right now. I watch way too many disastrous videos, and there's a cat on my lap, and I don't want it to go flying through the window. And yeah, so I'm just like clutching onto everything, consciously aware of the fact that I got my nails done yesterday and any of them can snap and break at any moment. So I'm just like carefully aligning myself in like the perfect position where it's like I probably won't go flying through the window right now. And like I'm like consciously like looking over at my brother like, oh my God, like, are you okay? Is everyone okay? We're kind of like flying through the middle of nowhere, and we're going into this giant ditch with 25 centimeters of snow, and the car's not stopping right now, and anyone can just be flying through the window at any point. And I've seen this way too many times. I watch way too much CSI, too much Dateline, and way too much 48 Hours. Anyways, so the car screeches to a halt, and we're all safe. but we just happened to be like inches and inches and inches, maybe like we're like really really deep into a roundabout in the highway in the middle of nowhere in like 25 plus centimeters of snow in a blizzard. So we're shit fucked because we can't reverse out of this. We're like deep in there and we don't know what to do, and everyone is like shaking. Like I'm shaking, everyone's kind of like, oh my god, like we just kind of had a near-death experience, like why is this happening? Like my sister turns around to me, she's like, are you okay? I'm anal as fuck, so I'm like, this should have never happened. But anyways, we just sit there and we think, okay, maybe we can call a tow truck. Guess what? The tow truck driver is like, there's no way anyone's going that deep into the roundabout at this time to pull your car out in a blizzard on Christmas Eve. Good luck, you guys. And we happen to be in the middle of nowhere. So the one good thing about that is the police are like super responsive. Like when you're in Toronto and you're trying to get like a police officer to help you, good luck with that, because they're like at Tim Hortons grabbing donuts and whatnot. In the middle of nowhere, the police are ready. They stay ready. So an officer kind of like casually drove by and saw us in the ditch and just like, you know, walked up to the vehicle and he's like, is everyone okay back there? And we're just like, the cat's like we're all just like suffering post-traumatic stress disorder, I don't know. And like he just like, we asked if maybe he could get us a tow truck or whatever. He can't help us with that. And instead, he just kind of called a cab for us. Didn't offer us a ride, might I know, but I don't know. Please don't do that. And so after that, we get in this cab and we end up at the McDonald's in the middle of nowhere. And no, we did not arrive at our mother's house on Christmas Eve. Instead, we just sat inside a McDonald's kind of thinking about our decisions and quietly suffering until we could get a tow truck in the morning who was brave enough to go in the middle of the roundabout and pull out the vehicle. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share.